Alrighty, hello. We are going to go over Genesis 4 and 5 today, and we are going to learn about Cain and Abel. And then chapter 5 is a generations passage. So it talks about Adam through Noah and his 3 sons. So that'll be fun. Alrighty, let's move this down, and I am going to read Genesis chapter 4. Just make sure this is the right chapter. Yep. All right, Genesis chapter 4. Now the man knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and gave birth to Cain. And she said, I have gotten a man with the help of Yahweh. And again she gave birth to his brother Abel. Abel was a keeper of flocks, but Cain was a cultivator of the ground. So it happened in the course of time that Cain brought an offering to Yahweh of the fruit of the ground. Abel on his part also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And Yahweh had regret for Abel and for his offering. But for Cain and for his let me redo that. Verse 4. Abel on his part also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And Yahweh had regard for Abel and for his offering. But but for Cain and for his offering he had no regard. So Cain became very angry, and his countenance fell. Then Yahweh said to Cain, Why are you angry, and why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will not your countenance be lifted up? And if you do not do well, sin is lying at the door, and its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. Then Cain spoke to Abel his brother, and it happened when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. Then Yahweh said to Cain, Where is Abel your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground. And now, cursed are you from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you cultivate the ground, it will no longer yield its strength to you. You will be a vagrant and a wanderer on the earth. And Cain said to Yahweh, My punishment is too great to bear. Behold, you have driven me this day from the face of the ground, and from your face I will be hidden. And I will be a vagrant and a wanderer on the earth. And it will be that whoever finds me will kill me. So Yahweh said to him, Therefore whoever kills Cain, vengeance will be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh appointed a sign for Cain, so that no one who found him would strike him. Then Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Then Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city Enoch after the name of his son. Now to Enoch was born Irad, and Irad was the father of Mehujael, and Mehujael was the father of Methuselah, and Methuselah was the father of Lamech. And Lamech, excuse me, one second. And Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. And Ada gave birth to Jabal. He was the father of those who lived in tents and had livestock. And his brother's name was Jabal and Jubal. He was the father of all those who play the lyre and the pipe. As for Zillah, she also gave birth to Tubal-Cain, the forger of all implements of bronze and iron, and the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. Oh man, my throat's been dry the last few days. I apologize for that. And Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice, you wives of Lamech. give ear to my word, for I have killed a man for striking me, and a boy for wounding me. If Cain is avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 77-fold. Then Adam knew his wife again, and she gave birth to a son, and named him Seth. For she said, God has set for me another seed in place of Abel, for Cain killed him. And to Seth, to him also, a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. Then men began to call upon the name of Yahweh. All right, before we get into chapter 5, let's talk about this for a little bit. So, Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. So if you notice here, if you remember from, I think Genesis 2, if we go to, let's see here. And Yahweh commanded the man, saying, from any tree, no, that's not it. Yeah, look at this. Genesis 2, verse 15. Then Yahweh God took the man, Adam, and set him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and to keep it. This is another thing I learned from a friend few few months ago. If you go back to Genesis 4, Adam and Eve, they had two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain was a cultivator of the ground, and Abel, he was a keeper of flocks. Adam was to cultivate and to keep, like father, like son. Abel was doing the keeping that Adam was doing, and then Cain was cultivator of the ground. It makes sense why the firstborn would get the cultivator of the ground, because cultivating is bringing life. It's more of an honorable job, whereas keeping, if you remember, shepherds in Jesus' time and in David's time and others, shepherds were not very, wasn't a high regarded job to have, but that was Abel's job. Cain gives a sacrifice and Abel gives a sacrifice. God has regard, not regret, for Abel's, and he has no regard for Cain's offering. So, one thing I noticed here, if you go to the end, this Lamech character has two wives, Ada and Zillah. It's the first mention in the scripture of someone having two wives. He says, I have killed a man for striking me and a boy for wounding me. If Cain is avenged sevenfold, so this would be his distant great something grandfather, then Lamech 77-fold. And I read a few commentaries online, and a lot of people think this is bragging, and it could be bragging. He killed two people, and he's talking to his two wives. If you read it, give ear to my word, it seems pretty prideful, but I almost wonder if he's saying Cain is avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 77-fold. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a fear in his voice when he's talking about this. I'm not sure. So let me know what you guys think on this section here. Then we have Seth. Alrighty. So that's Genesis 5. See if there's anything I missed. Yeah. Obviously, I could talk about this for a great while, but I don't want to. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to read it and to talk a little bit about certain things. So I'm saving this for last because I know most people, including myself, if someone's reading Genesis 4 and 5, they would stop listening when you get to chapter 5. So I'm going to read it because that's what I'm doing on this channel. And stick around if you want. But yeah, let me get this up here. And delete this. Add in. Oh, and this Bible app is a Logos Bible app. It's spelled logos. It's a pretty good Bible app if anyone's interested. Let me delete that. All right, there you go. Genesis 5. All right. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day when God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female. And he blessed them and named them man in the day when they were created. Excuse me, my voice is. It's getting dry. Oof. All right, verse 3. When Adam had lived 130 years, he became the father of a son in his own likeness, according to his image, and named him Seth. Then the days of Adam after he became the father of Seth were 800 years, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years and became the father of Enosh. Then Seth lived 807 years after he became the father of Enosh, and he had other sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912, and he died. And Enosh lived 90 years, and he became the father of Kenan. Then Enosh lived 815 years after he became the father of Kenan, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905, and he died. And Kenan lived 70 years and became the father of Mahalalel. I can't pronounce that. Then Kenan lived 840 years after he became the father of Mahalalel, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. So all the days of Kenan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel, yeah, lived 65 years, and he became the father of Jared. Then Mahalalel, lived 830 years after he became the father of Jared, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and he became the father of Enoch. And Jared lived 800 years after he became the father of Enoch, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years and became the father of Methuselah. Then Enoch walked with God 300 years after he became the father of Methuselah, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years, and he became the father of Lamech. Then Methuselah lived 782 years after he became the father of Lamech, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years, and he became the father of a son. Now he called his name Noah, saying, "This one will give us rest from our work and from our pain of our hands arising from the ground which Yahweh has cursed." Then Lamech lived 595 years after he became the father of Noah, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So that was a large time period we covered. Lots of years, lots of people. Reading through this, I'm thankful we don't live 700, 800, 900 years. I'm glad it's around 70 to 100. And then if you're a Christian, you're taken up into glory. Couldn't imagine, but the Lord, He's faithful to those who are His. Now, if you notice here in verse 22, and I can pull it up. Genesis 5. Did I say 22? Yeah, 22. Enoch walked with God 300 years, and he became the father of Methuselah, and he became the father of other sons and daughters. Now, all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Is that a coincidence? I don't know, but that's the days of the year. It's 365 years, or say 365 days in a year. It's like the complete amount of completes is one way to read it. And God took them. Very interesting. And in the old calendar, in the Egyptian calendar, I believe, from what I remember, the calendar year was 360 years. Kind of took their best guess. So that is very interesting. Very interesting. And you have Methuselah, oldest man ever. He died. So Enoch is one of two people in the Bible, Enoch and Elijah, who did not die. Now there's debate on whether the account in the New Testament where it said the saints rose up and witnessed to the people shortly after Jesus' death. There's debate on whether Enoch and Elijah were part of that and then they later died or something. And then there's also people who believe, well, the two witnesses is Enoch and Elijah in Revelation. I don't know if that's true. They reference it's appointed for man once to die, and after this, the judgment. I'm not sure. I don't know where I stand with that. Maybe when I get through this, I will know for sure. Another thing I noticed is Lamech, the father of Noah, lived 777 years. It seems symbolic. I'm not sure if it is, but 7 is the number of completion. 3 sevens, that's complete. He also knew something. He said that Noah will give us rest from our work and from the pain of our hands arising from the ground which Yahweh has cursed. For those who grew up in Sunday school, you'll know where this is going tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Genesis 6. Obviously, Noah found favor with God. So, Lamech, father of Noah, not Lamech, be confused with the one in Enoch's line. Not Enoch, sorry. In Cain's line, but Lamech of Seth's line. Blanking out here. It's also a Enoch. There's an Enoch in Cain's line, and there's an Enoch in Seth's line, and there's a Lamech in Seth's line, and a Lamech in Cain's line, and they seem to be very contrast in their favor with God, is what I'm reading. But let me know your thoughts. So yeah, that's everything I got for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. You have a blessed week coming into Christmas. I'm excited for Christmas. So yeah, have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll be back to post another video tomorrow, Lord willing. Thank you.